Welcome to a look at new mods on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. I am posting this on the Saturday morning and we have new mods, but these are mods from Friday the 24th of April. They dropped a little bit later than usual, not late, but later than usual, and I was otherwise engaged so couldn't do the mod review, but I'm here now and I'm going to get it done. We have got some updates. The Self-Made Weight by Daniel Modding has had an update, the Wooden Sheds by Svitch have had an update, and the German Cow Barn by Moose Agra has had an update. As far as new mods go, we do have a Seasons Geo South Dakota by Z84. That's new if you want to check that out and you're particularly looking for South Dakota. First of our mods in front of us is the, well, I guess right, the Shock Baton Shed by DMI Beunheas. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. This is a old Dutch style barn shed building, but there's a lot of detail on this one. It's 36 slots, so it's fairly high on the slot count, but you'll see as we go around why. The detailing on it is fantastic. What I do like as well, listen. That's something a bit different. We do get into the habit of, we get kind of a stock door opening sound, and sometimes with metal doors you get like a wooden fence sound, sometimes vice versa. Sometimes it sounds like a gate opening. That sounds like a door moving on rollers. You know, it's one of those things when it's right, and you know, and it sounds right, you know, and it's very obvious when it doesn't. But anyway, like I say, textures are fantastic all across. It looks like concrete, it looks like a wooden, possibly painted or, you know, stained door kind of thing. But as we come in, we've got a lot of space in here for medium-sized vehicles, I would say. But what is nice, you've got these concrete sections, and these are actual kind of not office space, but space behind. But you could stick bales up on the top here if you wanted to inside. We do have a light switch over in the corner here. Finding the trigger is not always. Did I find it? I did, yes. So that's lights off. That's lights on. We do have a door here as well, which has the same sound. Very nice. And then when we come around the back here, we've got, this is why it's up there, 36 slots. But then we've got all of this in here, so there's a lot of detail in here. Now, not everyone likes the detail. A lot of people would rather have the space if they want to put stuff in themselves. But it kind of adds a nice dimension to it, and there are loads of entrances and exits and doorways, and you know, so like I say, you can see why the slot count is what it is. So you've got all these separate little rooms with all different things in. That one opens out into the... You get the right one. That one opens up back into the main shed itself. Then we've got another one here with a bit more storage. And then we've got another exit. Get the trigger. There we go. Back to the outside. So there you go. That's the Shock Baton Shed by DMI Beunheas. I'm sorry. My pronunciations are not great. Moving on. We've got this. I need to make sure I get the right one. This is the Cow's Barn by Daniel X321. This will use up 16 slots and this will hold 40 animals. I have put animals in these because I wasn't sure. That's the problem, is when you do a kind of, I say, a quick mod review, you look at them, especially with animal pens and sheds and stuff, it's not always clear where everything goes or where everything comes out. Milk is normally fairly obvious, so that's where you collect your milk from. As you can see, manure will appear here at the back, and your slurry point is just there. I think I've probably got this the wrong way around, but I just thought I'd have the triggers where you could see them. So we've got doors either end of the main section here, and we do have light switches. Where was the light switch? Might be the other end actually. So this trigger here, this side, is water, so that's your water trough this end. And then your feed and straw trough is this end. So you put your feed in here, and if you back in or drive in with a vehicle for straw, that will do the straw in the pen there. Your buy, sell, load or unload trigger is actually here. weirdly, with a kind of pile of rubbish. But so buy, sell, load or unload is just there. Nicely detailed. The brickwork looks like brickwork. Nice and spacious. Keeps the animals inside. They'd have an outdoor pasture, so if you're looking for one where you see the animals outside, you prefer to have them grazing, this may not be the one for you, but yeah, not a bad mod. It's a fair size. It's not like it's tiny. I didn't show you the other thing, did I, where you found it? Sorry, I do apologise. So, under sheds for the shock baton. So I didn't say how much it was. The shock baton we just looked at, the old Dutch shed barn, is 80,000 to place, and like I said, 36 slots. This one is under animal pens. The cow barn, 100,000 to buy, will take 40 animals and is 16 slots. So that's that one. Moving on, we have this here. Now it's interesting because on the website this is down as pig sty. In the game store it's down as pig enclosure, but it's the same thing. This is by Karol. This is 25 slots. This is another enclosed one. We're getting a few more of these now where the buildings are enclosed and the animals are kind of kept inside. Again, one thing I will say with this is triggers are all on top of each other and it's not obvious. Look, 2 triggers. What are they for? It's not clear what they're for, so I had to do a bit of fiddling around to have a look. Gate does open here, and this is where your animals are. This will only take 6 pigs. The water trough is there inside, however I did manage to fill up from outside, so I'm assuming that this is the water trigger. However, I can't find, or I don't know where the trigger is for collecting your slurry. Weirdly, I thought this would be the manure point, but the manure seems to be here in the grass, so I don't know if the trigger's in the wrong place, if it's putting it where it shouldn't be. I'm not too sure. But this here is your this is your feed trigger, just here. So putting your feed in is this one. This one here is your buy, sell, load or unload. So like I say, they're not really clearly marked. So that's your load, buy, sell, load or unload. That's your feed trigger. I did get the water to work here, but that could be trigger working from inside. The manure is appearing over there somewhere. As far as bedding goes, if we come all the way around here, when I backed in, this was for my straw, so the straw bedding worked here. So I'm assuming one of those triggers around the front is for your slurry. This does have lights as well, I think. There we go. Lights on and off. We do have a little shed to the side here for storing something small, maybe some pig food pallets or something like that, or a small vehicle if you've got one. And then there's another one here as well. Again, textures are good. It's you know, it's a nice little mod. It's just like I say, you do have to spend a bit of time trying to work out where everything goes. But I mean, that's not anything new. That's been happening a lot on mods as far back as I remember on FS17. Obviously, when mods came to console on FS17, you always get mods where you kind of wander around scratching your head, wondering what to do with them. So this is also under animal pens. 50,000 to buy. It will take 6 pigs. It doesn't actually say whether it's. I just suddenly realised. Oh, yeah, it does say seasons ready on this one in the Modhub website. The cow's barn does say seasons ready as well. That's nice. And the shock baton shed doesn't actually say. I mean, most of them do have snow masks and stuff as kind of a standard now, but that's not to say it is 100%. So yeah, that's the pig enclosure. Moving on, we've got this, and this is a big one, but there are some really nice features about this that I do like. Not that I don't like it generally, but this is a pasture for cows. This is by Rowley Christie 1. This will take 400 cows, and it's only 13 slots. It takes up a bit of space, but there's nothing wrong with that. We have got at the front here, we've got our feed trigger. So this is our feed trigger across the front here. But what I do like is you've got these 2 side bits here. This one here is where you collect your milk from. And we've got a light switch this end. Now this does the lights the whole way along, but there's also another light switch the other end. So not only is it a cow barn, you've also got these 2 big shelter spaces. So it's kind of shed storage. You can put bales in here, your vehicles, whatever you want as well. So we've got this section this side, and we've got one the other side as well. So it does make it a really effective kind of shed space too. So when you look at it initially and think, oh, it's a bit big, but it does encompass quite a few things, which I do like. So we've also got a light switch this end, so either end, you haven't got to go all the way to the other end to switch the lights on and off, and does the lights for the whole thing. Our water trough is around this side here. The gate does open, so if you did want to go in there and mow the grass, you could go in and mow the grass if you want to, or just tend to them. Our buy, sell, load or unload trigger is just here, and our straw trigger is round the back. So for putting their bedding in, that's round the back here. Manure and slurry are nice and obvious, which I like. Slurry point just here, and your manure comes into the little silo, bunker silo, however you want to refer to it. Round the back there, very nice indeed. Let's say it has got a very large footprint on this one. But this you will also find under placeables, under animal pens. So the pasture for cows is 260 grand to buy. Like I say, it's only got a slot count of 13, which I think is brilliant for the size of it. And it holds 400, which is fantastic. I did use straw pellets around the back for bedding, so it will take straw pellets. Weirdly though, this took straw pellets, that took straw pellets, and so did that. But let's have a look in the menu. Weirdly, I know because it's gone past the night, but each one of these enclosures took the straw pellets and then it stopped filling, and I thought, okay, it's full, but each one only filled up halfway. It didn't completely fill the requirement. It only went halfway. So I came off of each trigger, came back in again, and it wouldn't take any more. So it only half filled the pellets. Don't know why. And it did it with all three of them as well, which was a bit odd. But you know, it will take regular straw. It will take it from straw blowers and all the rest of the bits and bobs. But there you go. So that's the 3 animal enclosures with the mods today. We are lucky today, or Friday, but Saturday for the weekend. It's not a 3 metre cultivator. We've got a 4 metre. We have an extra metre for the weekend. Something for the weekend, sir. And there we go. A whole extra metre. This is the Kverneland Qualidisc Farmer 4000. We do have a Kverneland Qualidisc 3000, which is the 3 metre standard in-game, but this is a 4 metre. There are a couple of options available on this. And this is by, I'll get it wrong, WawioRxaxa. I'm going to say WawioRxaxa, but it's RXAXA. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm so sorry. Yeah, very nice. I've just realised a mod I've forgotten. We'll get to that in a second, don't worry. I've missed it off my list. So what we'll do is we'll have a look at install first. We might as well. So under tools, under mine's gone blank. Disc arrows. Yeah. So there's the Qualidisc Farmer 3000, the standard in-game one. And there at the end, Qualidisc Farmer 4000, 24 grand to buy, 4 metre width. This will use up how many slots? 9 slots on console. It requires 130 horsepower. Options available on the back. We've got an Acti Ring. We can have the Acti Flex, or we can have the Acti Pack. So the packer on the back. And then back to the Acti Ring again. Those are your options available. I went for the Acti Ring because it just looked a little bit different. Whoa. Looks like that might require a front weight with that. To be fair, it's a fairly small tractor, but just realised I'm going over a bit I cultivated previously. That doesn't help, does it? But anyway, as you can see, it is cultivating at 4 metres. I have noticed a lot recently. I don't know, because I use No Man's Land as my test map for doing mod reviews and stuff. So sometimes you get mod map clashes where things don't work particularly well on certain maps. But I noticed this before on my previous test map. But a lot of bits of machinery and equipment seem to start getting bouncy and floaty, and sometimes if that happens you have to save the game, come back out, come back in again, and everything seems to have settled down. It's a bit weird, and I don't know why it does it every now and again, but anyway, Pasture Quality Disc Farmer 4000 by WawioRxaxa. RxAXA. So the one I missed, and I didn't get it out. I've saw on my list, but I forgot to sort out getting the piece of machinery out to show you. So we'll show it from the Modhub. This is under manure spreaders, and this is the Lizard N2195. This is by Ostry29 and Slyclif. There you go. At the end, 7,200 to buy. Requires 30 horsepower. It's fairly small actually. 3,500 litres. It's only got a spread width of 3 metres. So this is a small farm muck spreader. This isn't going to be for doing massive farms and that kind of stuff. But main colour, we've got options on all of these. That's a very pale red. So yeah, got options on all those for the main colour. And then design colour is for your rims. Capacity 3,500. Capacity 8,150. That changes it though to a trailer. That's not a muck spread anymore. So we did have, what was the one we had recently? We had another one of these, didn't we? Mine's gone blank. I'm just checking on my computer to my side. Oh, it was the N2351 we had. So we had the Lizard N2351 by Borsuk and Kopi, which was kind of a similar thing. This is the N2195. So there we go. I'm thinking, I'm sure I've seen one of these recently. That explains why. So capacity 8,150. Sorry, just got sidetracked slightly. So those are your two options on those. So colours and then capacity. So you can take it from muck spreader to being just a regular trailer if you want. What we'll do is lease it. Bear with me. And here it is in the flesh. Chain drive on the back belt system, so when you turn it on it forces the manure up to these flingers and flings it out the back in a 3 metre kind of styly. There you go. So the last of the mods for today, and this is extreme to say the least, we've got this. This is bonkers. This is extreme harvesting. I mean, like extreme harvesting. This is the Lands LK30 potato harvester. This is by, I think it's Dietmar. This is a John Deere Lands, or Lands John Deere potato harvester. Runs on roll. When I first saw it in the Modhub, I thought it was a seeder, and I'm thinking that's weird because sometimes you get those ones that rotate round and the seed comes out kind of through the holes as it goes. Now this is a harvester, so you'll find this under harvesters, and this will do 1, maybe 2 rows of potatoes at a time. It depends kind of how you place it. Wow, it's incredible. It does have a storage capacity of 500 litres, and when I first started pulling it along it was filling up, but if you then put it onto start overload, what it will do then is it will overload, so it'll unload on the go. Now we had one of these on FS17 and it also came with like a pickup thing. There isn't a pickup with this, so you can come along with a bucket if you wanted to. You could use one of the massive potato or like the collection things, but yeah, there's various different implements you can use for collecting this up. So what you can either do is go along and every so often when it fills up you can put a little pile like that of 500 litres, or you can unload on the go, so you can just keep going, then you just come along later on with a big bucket or something like that and just scoop it all up and put it into a trailer. So yes, it's interesting. It's, you know, I think it's amazing. Again, I've said before, I love technology. I love the evolution of technology and how things progress. And when you look at the modern potato harvesters and then look at this, that's just crazy. That digs into the ground and that flings the stuff to one side that it's dug out. You need to go to the tools and then you go to potato technology. Where are we? Potato technology. And it's in potato technology. So I suppose because it's not a self-propelled harvester, it's actually a trail one. So anyway, it's there. 250 to buy, 500 litre capacity. Requires 10 horsepower to pull, but it does say this harvester digs the potatoes out of the ground. Notes that a haulm topper is needed prior to using this machine, which means you have to top everything first. Now normally you would use a topper and then the machine comes on behind and takes the potatoes out the ground. So it says that you need to use a topper first, but I haven't. My crop's ready to harvest and I haven't used a topper, and it has worked fine. Now, what I will say though, this hasn't been without its issues. I've had a lot of problems just getting it from the store out to the field. This thing didn't want to be pulled. It lifted one wheel off the ground, then the other wheel off the ground, then it would swing round. Every time it swung round, it hit the back of the tractor. It caused the tractor to flip up in the air. I tried it with this. I tried it with the little Fergie. I tried it with a, what I call a standard tractor, because I was trying to go for something small, because it's a small implement. I saved the game, came back out, I thought maybe it's doing that bouncy, floaty thing. Came back into the game, it still did it. I got to a point where out on the field it would work, but weirdly the drawbar on this isn't too bad, but on the Fergie the drawbar keeps bouncing up and down, and that keeps bouncing up and down. So I'm not sure. Again, it could be a mod clash. It could. There's a whole host of reasons that could be causing it. I don't like to say the mod's flawed, it needs updating, because it might not be the mod. It could be that there's an issue between mods, or, you know, again, mapped mod. It could be all sorts of things. But anyway, that said, let's start the tractor up. So that's it in its driving position. See that little bit of bounce there? So when we want to lower it, so we lower it down like so, then we turn it on like that, and that should start to spin. There we go. So as we move forward, it drives that on the back, and I've got it on auto unload, so as we go it's pulling those, and if you've even got the potatoes, you can see the animation there coming out. Don't get me wrong, it's fantastic. It's a very clever little mod, but it is extreme. Now, I can't hire a worker. If I press circle now, it won't hire a worker to do this. So you imagine having an entire field of potatoes to do. Doing it with this, wow, you're going to be there all day. So what I'm going to do is just open the menu a second. If I do L1, R1, stop unloading. So as I drive now, it will actually fill the little tank. I'm assuming the middle section, but I would imagine there's all sorts of gubbins and workings and stuff in there. So that will gradually fill up to 500 litres, and then what you can do is when you fill up, L1, R1, unload here, and it puts the potatoes out. But if you leave it on unload, you can drive along, and like I say, it will kind of unload to the side as you go. This will only harvest at 2 miles an hour. But wow, what an amazing bit of kit. It's that kind of, again, like I say, think of the evolution of technology that goes from taking potatoes out of the ground by hand to then kind of horse-drawn implements like that, then moving on to something like this. And this would have been considered pushing technology. You know, this is incredible that you don't need a horse and you don't need to do it by hand. And now look at the speed and size of the machinery and how much potato comes out of the ground. But there you go. What an amazing thing. So that's the Lanz LK30. It does say wheel-driven harvester by the John Deere Lanz brand with wheel-drive. Centrifugal star with 8 tine groups made of spring steel. Grippers are protected by a tread for driving on paved paths. Built around 1955. Wow. Anyway, that's it. 4 mods for Friday the 24th. I hope you have a lovely weekend. Enjoy your farming. Stay safe at home. Remember, keep social distancing. Stay safe. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.